collection of different hand spindles. This one, well, both of these were brought to me from Peru by a friend who went down on some kind of a business trip. This is a Turkish spindle. And so is this. This one was made by a very good friend of mine. This one is walnut and was purchased. The Turkish spindles are a little bit different. You wind your ball around the bottom, then you slip it all off. This is hard to do with one hand. I'm holding the camera with the other. Remove the sticks and you have a ball already done. This is a Louette or Shack spindle. Probably, I think, the first one that I ever had. Again, it's a bottom whorl or a low whorl spindle. Here is a high whorl spindle. The spindle is at the top. It's a much faster way to spin. Another high whorl spindle. This one was from Norse Cord Fibers and is one of my favorites. It's a very large spindle and will hold quite a bit of yarn. The yarn on here is called a cop, C-O-P, and is a very organized winding on so that you can unwind it. I'll go into that later. Another high whorl spindle. This one is from New Zealand, and I love it. This is a spindle made out of black resin. It can be used as a high whorl or a low whorl. You can also use it as a support spindle. It's very versatile. And I think it was designed by Priscilla Gibson Roberts. I know she talks about it in her book. I've had it for quite a while and I don't think they're made anymore, but it is one of my absolute favorites. The last little spindle that I'm going to show you was made by Jonathan Bosworth and is exotic wood, and it's also a high whorl. You can see the cop of blue wool. This is another favorite. This one came in a little bag and I carry it around with me. This is a high whorl spindle. It's rolled up your leg to get it going, then you draft. This is a very well balanced spindle. You can see how fast it's spinning. When I've got enough twist in my yarn, I unhook it, wind it on, bring it through. There's a notch. I bring the thread through the notch, hook it on, and repeat the process. This is a low whorl spindle. It has a hook on the top. I'm going to spiral the yarn up around the hook. Now I've got to put the twist, get it started spinning with my fingers, and I'm going to draft. The drafting is exactly the same with both of these spindles. Add the twist, stop, unwind, wind on, spiral the yarn up the shaft, around the hook, and repeat. Whoa! This is actually a very nice spindle. I just didn't get that one started very well. I think these are much harder to do. It's harder to give a good spin and get it going evenly than it is to roll up your leg with the high whorl. This is a slower method of spinning, but it's also very effective. And some people have a definite preference as to which spindle they like. This is a support spindle. This particular one is a Takli from India. It has a brass whorl. I'm spinning cotton. It's supported because it rests on my knee or in a little bowl, and then you spin it. To spin, you wind the yarn, this is cotton, up the shaft, and there's a hook at the top. You spin the tockley and then draft out these really get going very fast, and they're a very fast way. Trying to do it and stay in the camera is not easy. You can also use a little dish or something to set it in, to spin it. And it can draft out again ahead of the twist, and I'm drafting way out of the camera. Now I'm going to wind it on, make my cop up the shaft. It'll catch on the hook. I'm drafting out again a little bit. I'm just adding enough twist to hold the yarn together, and I've got kind of a glob, but I'm not going to fix it now. I'm just trying to give you an idea. That's a support spindle. There are different kinds of support spindles. The tockley is probably one of the best known. These are good for cotton, cashmere, very short, fine, delicate fibers. This is a tockley, which is it's a support spindle. This one came from India. It has a brass whorl. It's a support spindle because it has to be supported. You wind, this is a brown tan cotton. You wind it on. There's a hook at the top. Then you give it a good spin with your fingers. And you can draft out. This is a high whorl spindle. It has a notch, which makes it easy to put the yarn under. Then the yarn goes through the hook. Here's another one. Again, you can see the notch and the hook. The yarn is built up into a cup, which is what you call the storage bundle of yarn on a spindle.